Main event. Man, if you listen to anything I said leading up to the fight, I was on, I think, TSN Radio in Toronto, Luke Thomas. There was Luke Thomas on Coast to Coast. Shout out to Thick Luke. Going into this, there was a lot of unknowns with Conor McGregor. And I think in hindsight, and obviously this is easier to say now, we're on the other end of this fight, but going into this, of course he lost, right? Of course he lost. I think you're talking about a guy, I think 5 rounds in 4 years, something like that, 4 rounds in 5 years. His last fight was a year ago, and he fought an older cowboy, Cerrone. In order to be the best, in order to be in this race of the lightweight division in the UFC, which is the deepest division in the world out of any organization, anyone who says less is full of shit, or they're just haters. There is nothing like 155 pounds in the UFC. It's the creme de la creme. It's the very best 155-pound human beings on the planet competing at the highest level. For us to think that Conor can do his stuff outside of the ring, fight every once now and then, fight 5 rounds in 4 years, and then jump in there and fight a dog in Dustin Poirier, who's just been scrapping for everything inside that octagon, and to expect him to go in there and compete, and I'm going to show you, it's insane, dude. It's insane. It's fucking insane. That's no difference than like Tom Brady, right? Won this weekend. That's no different than Tom Brady in a year ago. And remember, he destroyed Don Cerrone a year ago playing the fucking Arizona Cardinals, but only playing 1 round. One quarter, and tearing it up. And you're like, damn, you look good. And then he sits out an entire year, and then is playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. You'd be like, God, I don't know, man. I feel like he's gonna be pretty rusty. The timing, the plays, is he football ready? Can he take the beatings? Like, there's a whole lot that goes into this. And so, the only guy I've really heard you say ring rust isn't a real thing is Dominic Cruz. Listen to Dominic Cruz. Don't listen to me. He's one of the greatest to ever do it. But outside Dominic Cruz, ring rust is real, man. There's only one way on the planet to get better at mixed martial arts, and that's by doing it. Not in a gym, not in your garage, not in an octagon that you have in your backyard, not by trying to, have family members around, and you bring in a guy and you guys go for it. That's all fine and dandy. The only way to get good at mixed martial arts and compete at the highest level is by doing it, and he's not doing it. Now, why isn't he doing it? It's not because Conor McGregor didn't want to fight or because he has all these distractions outside the octagon. He wanted to fight. He begged the UFC for fights. He goes, last year he goes, man, I want to fight 4 times. UFC said, cool, bro. Sorry. You can fight Don Cerrone, that's all we got for you. And then people made fun of him because the DMs came out. He was like, dude, let me fight Diego. Conor's a smart individual. He knows in order to compete at the highest level, he has to stay active. He has to get the reps in. He has to get on a plane. He has to travel. He has to stay in the hotel. He has to go through the warm-ups. He has to go in that locker room. He needs to deal with those nerves. He needs to make that walk. He needs to feel the lights. He needs to see when it's for real. When it's for real. And he knows that. And he knew that this was trouble down the road. And he begged the UFC for fights. Did he not? Then he was like, fuck it, man. Now I'm going to retire. Because he knows that it's insane to think that you can compete at this level with the Justin Gaethjes, the Dustin Poiriers, the Tony Fergusons, the Dan Hookers, the Michael Chandlers, the Charles Oliveras. It's insane. The Paul Felders. It's insane to think that you can just chill and get 1 round on your belt and then go in there and compete with those guys. You just can't, man. You just can't. That'd be like not doing stand-up for a year and then shooting a HBO special or a Netflix special. Not putting the grind on the road, not getting up, seeing what works. Oh, this doesn't work. All right, let me change this. Let me change this approach. Seeing a fan's reaction, getting the audience reaction, and you're going to dial in your set based off the feel of real life comedy. So for him to go in there, And for us to, and for the UFC odd makers, and I fucking told you guys, this is a pick 'em fight. And even I was off on that. This ain't a pick 'em fight. This should have been heavy, Dustin Poirier. Again, all hindsight. When you look up what led to this, of course he fucking lost, man. Of course. Did anybody feel bad for Conor? Am I the only psychopath there?
No, of course. It was crazy to see his face like that.
I felt terrible for him. And think about this. If you're a Conor McGregor nut hugger like I am, this is the first time he was beat at his own game. Every other single loss inside the UFC, was submission. We've never seen him get beat at his own game. He fancies himself a striker. We've never seen him get knocked out on the feet, ever. The Khabib fight's like, all right, yeah, Khabib's just going to grab him, choke him out. Nate Diaz fight, he got his back, choked him out. All right, but if it stays on the feet, Conor can knock him out. Well, it stayed on its feet. Conor got knocked out. So as a Conor fan, you're like, oh shit, it's over. A little bit of you is like, fuck, the ride's over. The ride's over. And in hindsight, again, take out your dislike or your like for Conor McGregor, and let's say you're Scrooge McDuck and you run the UFC. And we sit down and we go, all right, let's just take out any love or hate you have for Conor McGregor. And you sit down, you're looking at the roster of the UFC, and you're in this meeting, and our number one agenda is to make money. Our only agenda is to make money. We don't give a fuck about CTE. We don't give a fuck about if you break your leg. We don't care about anything else. We need to make the most money possible, get the most eyeballs possible, and make ESPN happy. That's our only goal. Our only goal is that. And you're at this board meeting, and they sit down and they go, all right, man, it's pretty clear. We got a front runner who sells the most tickets, sells the most merch, sells the most pay-per-views. If he's fighting that week, it's insane. Our ads are through the roof. The marketing's through the roof. Nobody gets a bigger response than this Irish kid, Conor McGregor. And he goes, okay, let's fight him. And you go, okay. Someone should have went in there and went, okay, but if we're going to get multiple fights out of this kid because we want the most money possible, what's the best plan? Did nobody go, well, don't give him Dustin Poirier. Why? Well, because he's been active, right? He beat Max Holloway. He did lose to Khabib, but I mean, he's been on a fucking tear, man. He's doing it. And also, what if he loses? What are we going to do? You might get one out of him if he still wants to do it. We might squeeze him dry and get a Nate Diaz trilogy. But other than that, we're fucked, man. So what would you do? Well, I think let's ease him back into it because he hasn't been in the game. He did fight Cowboy, and then someone stands up and goes, yeah, but he's older, right? Yeah, good point, dude. Good point. So what should we do with him? Well, I think what we should do with him is let's do the Nate Diaz trilogy fight. Nate hasn't been active. It's a huge fight. Introduces the casuals, gets everybody on board. Let's go Nate Diaz. If he looks good in that one, then what do we do? And then you can map it out, dude. But what you don't do with your biggest cash cow is go, give him the fucking dog, Dustin Poirier. Because now we're in a tough spot. We're in a tough spot, man. You're in a tough spot as a business if you're the UFC. You're in a tough spot if you're in the Conor McGregor business. Also, the other thing that should worry you if you're a Conor fan is Conor in the press conference goes, this one feels different. I'm not as upset. Oh, okay. Well, if you don't care, I don't care. And if you don't care, you should stop doing it. Now, I know he says, I just got to get back in there and get it back on the horse. But if that loss doesn't hurt you to your core, you're not going to win the next one, Bubba. So that should be alarming. And I also think, again, I always say my favorite thing of any sport is watching a UFC fighter when they're a prospect and they're coming through the rankings and we're getting on this hype train, they're passing the test. And there's never been a funner ride than Conor McGregor. I know he did all that weird shit outside. Take all that out. I'm just talking as far as pure sports entertainment. There's never been a fighter more fun to go along the ride with than this. Just hasn't been, man. It's been a fucking phenomenal ride. It's been great. But he's at a different point in his life, right? He's at a different point. Some would say he's happy. He has 2 kids. He has a wife now. She's pregnant. He has all the money in the world. I just don't know in mixed martial arts if you can have all that and still compete with the dogs of the division. Because guess who doesn't have that? Dustin Poirier. Guess who doesn't have that? Justin Gaethje. Guess who doesn't have that? Charles Oliveira. Guess who doesn't have that? Tony Ferguson. Those guys are fucking dogs. And I bet you, gun to the head, if you ask those guys I just mentioned, would you die tonight in that octagon? Every single one of those guys I just mentioned would say yes, except Conor McGregor. Like, die, bitch. I got $100 million in the bank. You saw the yacht I came in on. You saw the Rolls Royce. Would he die? I got 3 kids. It's just a different game, dude. It's just a different game. I'm not saying you can't have a family and be successful. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you have $100 million in the bank and you're in fucking yachts, and you've done it, man. You've become a 2-division champion. You've become the biggest name in the sport. You've become the face, one of the biggest faces in sports, period. You've done it all, man. Your whiskey's killing it. Your merch is killing it. You got all this stuff going on. I'm saying then the fire just dwindles out, man. And it's tough to wake up and do the same things that these other guys are willing to do. And for the first time, went, oh no, and you saw it. You know, I bet Theo Vaughn, my partner in crime from King of the Sting, I bet Theo $1,000 on Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. And Theo asked me, he goes, seriously, how do you see this going? And I said, dude, listen, if it's a prime Conor, if it's a Conor McGregor fought Eddie Alvarez, if it's the best version of Conor McGregor and the best version of Dustin Poirier, Conor probably will win that fight. If it's the very best, Conor would probably win that fight. If Conor's off at any level, if he's 90%, if he's 80%, if he's 95%, he's going to lose. I don't know what percentage he was at. I would not say even close to 90%. I think Conor's fallen in love with boxing. We don't see the movement, the fluidity, the mixing up with the kicks. See that cool spinning kick? That was cool. We don't see the teep that he's known for, keeping guys back. The head movement, the movement's just not the same. He's not a mixed martial artist anymore, is he? He's more of a boxer that's decided to fight in mixed martial arts. And we've seen it happen before. Andrei Arlovski, when they fell in love with boxing. For whatever reason, I think maybe the distance is different. For whatever reason, when a guy dedicates his life to boxing, it usually doesn't go well in mixed martial arts. They usually get tagged the fuck up. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just different distance, different game. There's variables in there. It's just different. You don't have those 8-ounce or 10-ounce gloves on, depending what weight you're at, you know? So whenever a guy is just strictly boxing, but also if you're Dustin Poirier and you realize that Conor's fallen in love with boxing, he's just boxing, man, it's a bunch of less things I have to worry about. I just have to worry about his left hand now? All right, cool. That's it. That's it. He's not going to do all the cool shit. Not going to switch his stances like he used to do, the sweet jab, the teep kicks, all that cool shit. I don't have to worry about all that weird stuff that we didn't know what angle is coming from. The Eddie Alvarez days. What? That guy was a fucking Irish tsunami. Not anymore. He's a river, straight, one-dimensional, boxer. What do you do then? You tell me you'd pay to see Conor fight Manny Pacquiao now?
It's not as exciting.
It's still, so if Dustin would have done his thing and it's back and forth, and then Dustin gets back and chokes him out, I can still sell you on a Manny Pacquiao fight. When you get knocked out on your feet, we can no longer sell you the Manny Pacquiao fight. Now, will it sell? Yeah, it'll sell. Will it sell like it should have? Nowhere near. Does Manny Pacquiao even want to do it? Probably not. The boxer weight, they're probably saying, hold up, you got knocked out in your sport and you want to fight the best ever over here? Come on. That ain't happening. You know, like think about when he fought Floyd. Yeah, he lost to Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz choked him out. Floyd can't do that. So his shit talk was like, oh, I saw him lost. All right, yeah, cool, man. That guy's a world class on the ground. Nate Diaz. All right, and he's bigger. All right, cool story, dude. This on the feet, though. And I've never been touched on the feet. Bring it. That's out the window. You got to imagine the UFC, not that they need anybody. They don't. They're fine. I'm just saying in hindsight, looking back on it, Conor's management team, I know what Conor wants to do. Conor probably wants to fight the very best. Although Conor, the writing was on the wall, man. He knows he can't go in there and compete with these guys if you don't give him the time to fucking rebuild and get better. He knows it, man. He was begging you guys. He fucking shared the DMs with Dana, for God's sakes. He was so fucking starving to get back in there because he knows. And they're like, oh, fucking Diego Sanchez? Yeah, man. That he needed a warm-up. He needed something to go in there. He didn't want to fight the number 2 lightweight in the world. It's insane, dude. It's insane. And he lost bad, man. He lost bad. And I think even the demeanor, you can tell, like, the leading up to the fight. I don't need this shit talk. I don't need all that to buy a fight. But we know Conor, you know, he has that chip on his shoulder, man. Those chips are gone, man. Those chips are gone. It's gone.